Anyways, what's good, YouTube? We got BROWNLEE with the iPhone 16 Pro, his first impressions. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know if it's first impressions, but we're going to see. You know what I mean? Let's see if it's worth it. I currently have, I think I got the 11 or the 12. I think I got the 11. I almost upgraded to the 12. Well, I technically did for a period of time, but then I ended up selling my 12 because it just didn't have enough storage, so I went back to my 11 because I edit a lot on my phones and shit. But anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's free. Oh shit, almost rolled that twice. My bad. I was enjoying the intro. Alright, let's get into this shit. Marquez.
Alright.
Come on.
I'm back. I'm back from Australia, all the way from down under, and
Good eye, mate.
Exactly one souvenir with me, but I flew in this morning because Apple said they were going to announce some stuff, and they did. There was an event today. So here's my first impressions. So we got the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro today, along with new AirPods and Apple Watch. And I've got some hands-on and some first impressions for you of all that stuff right here. So
literally looks all exactly the same. These iPhones, Apple are scammers, bro. But will I ever switch to Samsung or Android? I would never. Because I ain't that broke. Goddamn.
Let's just start with the new phones. We knew this was coming, right? A very, very minor incremental overall update. But somehow Apple's still got to try to get people to buy it. So what will they do? So iPhone 16 looks very much like iPhone 15, but there's some new colors, as you can pretty much always count on. This year it's ultramarine, which is kind of this indigo, pretty sick. Teal, pink, black, and white. And the cameras, instead of being diagonally oriented, are now lined up again next to each other like it was back in the iPhone 10 days. But it's not just a retro touch, that's also so it can shoot spatial videos and pictures now, so the sensors are aligned with each other again. But then everything else, the rounded corners, the size of the regular phone and the Plus phone, the speakers, the antenna lines, everything, just basically the same. Not much new going on here. Damn. Inside, they bumped it up from the A16 Bionic to a new A18, so there's some solid performance improvements in the 20 to 30% range, better ray tracing, and a 2 times faster neural engine and 8 gigs of RAM for all that Apple Intelligence stuff. Really the most underrated new hardware to me, though, that they talked about is Apple briefly mentioned that these new phones will all have larger batteries, and so that seems to imply that it will actually have better battery life, but also at no point did Apple ever say any numbers. Not a single number was uttered during the battery section, no graphs or anything like that. Sure. So we don't know exactly how much bigger this new battery actually is, and the only numbers we've been able to find is if you look on Apple's compare page for the phones, it said the iPhone 15 would get a battery life of 20 hours of video playback, and this new 16 gets 22. So I'm going to be putting these through the paces. You already know if you want to get subscribed to be among the first to see the full review, that's when we'll be able to figure out if it's actually a significant improvement in battery in other ways. But as of right now, better battery, sure. And then I never thought I'd say this sentence again, but this new iPhone has 2 new buttons. So first of all, it gets the action button from last year's Pro. So now you can do the exact same customized shortcuts from a flashlight or Shazam to a Siri shortcut or whatever you want. And then there's also another new button called camera control.
Bit mean.
And this second button, it's a touch-sensitive cutout covered in sapphire with a Taptic engine behind it. Now, it does actually move. It is an actual button, just to be clear. But just like the trackpad on a lot of modern laptops, the vibration motor clicks to also make a half press feel like you're clicking a 2-stage button, like a camera shutter button. And it is also very convincing. So the magic of this camera control
is because, right, this side, I'm pointing at the screen that I watch to watch shit, alright? And then this side is my chat and my OBS. But my chat is all the way to the far left. I probably need to change that around because it's all the way to like the far left corner. So I have to like fully swivel my head around to actually talk to you guys, you know what I mean? So let me move this over here, maybe. Get this over. Move this over here. Move that over there. Move the chat over here. Okay, there. Boom. Boom. There we go.
Area is what they're calling
So
it,
now I don't
is
have
that
to
it
look
is
too
pressure
much
sensitive,
all the way over here. I
and
could just
it's
look
basically a tiny trackpad on the corner of the phone. It's capacitive sensitive, so you can swipe and do gestures along the corner of the phone. And so Apple's decided everything that this button will do will be camera related. So if you press it from the lock screen, it opens the camera app, and then when you're in, you can click it again to take a photo, or long press to start taking a short video. But then you can do a little half-strength double tap to open up a menu for different camera options, and then slide your finger along this camera control to change them.
Oh shit.
So, it takes some getting used to. You got to get used to the placement of your hand and how fast you swipe, but once you kind of know what you're doing, it feels pretty smooth and it's pretty sensitive and intuitive. So this is all a bunch of functionality that's being added basically into Apple's camera app, but Apple's also said that third-party apps that use the camera will also be able to take advantage of the camera control. So Snapchat, Instagram, Halide, etc.
Okay.
They'll be able to also use the slider. So I think it's pretty cool. I think it's technically very impressive.
It's cool, but if you're not content creator, a filmmaker, or anything like that, it's kind of pointless. Like, it's really pointless.
I'm just trying to figure out, kind of similar to the action button, how useful it will actually be. Like, it is kind of in this awkward spot on the bottom right of the phone. It makes sense as a horizontal shutter button, but they're kind of splitting the difference, trying to also make it usable in a vertical orientation. I'm curious how many people actually use this regularly, because again, it is on all the phones. But yeah, that's about it for the 16. I mean, the display also does now drop down to 1 nit minimum brightness, so that's great at night. It is also still a 60 hertz display on an $800 flagship in 2024. So that's really disappointing for me personally, but overall
crazy.
This phone is, I'd say it's still pretty tempting to say that this base model is probably a better buy for me.
Chat, y'all niggas so horny, bro. Mr. Baldage, y'all horny ass nigga, bro. Swear to God.
Most people over the Pro phones, but let's just get into the Pro phones, shall we? New colors this year. Desert Titanium.
Okay, I don't care
The phones
about
actually get
colors.
6. Is also a new chip as well. It's the A18 Pro. So this is the new highest end chip in any iPhone. And this again should have performance boost and efficiency boost over last year's Pro phone. Again, in the Pro Max will now be.
So basically, it's just the new
smaller
action
Pro
button.
used to have a 3X, but now both Pros have matching all 3 cameras. It's also wireless charging a little bit faster, 25 watts. So that'll get you 50% in 30 minutes of charging with the new MagSafe charger. Nothing too crazy. And also 4K 120 FPS slow motion straight out of the cameras now. And that's pretty sick. Now, I'm sure the file sizes will be nuts from the ProRes version of this, but it gives you really functional files that you can do a lot with. It also totally proves to me that they could handle processing enough to shoot 8K 30, but they're just choosing not to. Now, there was a whole lot of talk, a whole long section of the keynote where they constantly talked about Apple Intelligence. And I mean, they have to because it's a really big deal for them. But the thing is, these phones
just want
will
you,
launch
big
with
papi.
iOS
Okay,
18,
buddy.
18.0. And that means they will launch with no Apple Intelligence features at all. No Genmoji, no image playground, no writing tools, nothing. That shiny brand new iPhone 16 that you take out the box in September 2024 and start using in a couple weeks will have the old Siri on it. Now, they'll start to come out bit by bit with software updates. So 18.1 has the new Siri and a bunch of writing tools and some other stuff. But it's becoming harder and harder to pair that stuff directly to this new phone as a part of this upgrade. I mean, if you've watched my videos before...
Basically, what I've learned from this video is that I shouldn't buy the iPhone 16. There's no point watching me... there's no point in me watching this whole fuck it, I'm ending the video. Goddamn.